Yo, this video is quite different from my other ones, so here's a short rambling preamble to give you some context. I moved back to Italy from the Netherlands about 3 months ago, leaving all my shit up there in the meantime. Of course I had to go back and send everything back home, but without a house or any money to my name, I quickly found myself hoboing around, looking for cardboard and lost souls willing to talk about metaphysics in exchange for drugs and YouTube content. Those are the circumstances under which the first and last episode of Random People Impersonating Famous People Hobo podcast was born, in the house of 4 humble gypsies who gave me shelter, drugs, cardboard and YouTube content.
What was your name?
Keegan.
Alright. Hello everyone to the Random People Impersonating Famous People Hobo podcast.
It's not 70 milligrams of acid, it's just 250 micrograms.
Oh,
Yeah, no, so
still a fucking lot.
I mean, it's just like it's about as much as I normally take.
Remember, they can only hear the person with the microphone.
Yes, I know. If you wanna have a conversation with me, you have to like get a
Yeah.
microphone. So, like,
This is why this is such a hobo setup. It's like just one camera, one microphone.
you just get people stealing the mic from each other. Like, hey, I wanna speak now.
We are joined here by my guest on the extreme left of the view of the video. Just
Oh yeah. I'm Keegan. Oh yeah.
yo,
I
what's
feel-
up?
Yeah.
About a fist on your face.
About a feast.
Yeah, yo, guys, I'm Jerry. I'm like the guy that has the YouTube channel. You know, good shit.
My name is Radu, and yeah, I live here.
Dude, I'm high. Like literally. No, but my name is also me high, which kind of fits because I'm high right now, like on a lot of stuff. And I also live here, but actually don't because I'm homeless, just like he is, right there. Your host, Jerry the Hobo guy.
Yo everyone, I'm Laurencio. I also live here just like Rado does, and it's a pleasure for me to be accompanied here by this amazing set of gentlemen. It's great. I think it's going to be a very intellectual talk, and you'll surely love what we're talking about here.
So just to start, I'm gonna introduce the topic of this podcast. It's metaphysics on drugs, right? So as a first question, I would like to ask everyone: have you ever done any drugs, and what do you think that does to your interpretation of reality as you see it?
Yeah, I did do some drugs, especially the most popular ones, a bit of some experimental ones like the CB03 MMC. And what I like to say about drugs, and I think is that they allow you to see things from a different perspective. It basically changed. I think that it basically changed your paradigm for some amount of time. For example, like you take MDMA, then for 2 hours you're very euphoric and you see the world from a very positive point of view. On acid, you are analyzing every thought you have and going deep inside your mind. So I think what it is good about them is that they can give you another perspective about the world, about what you think, about your own behavior, about how you influence others. And it can help you a lot with that. But I also think it is important to know why you are doing them, to know how to do them, and to know what to expect and what you want to gain from them. So you should try to go into when doing drugs with a certain mindset and try to accomplish something there. And also try not to get lost in your thoughts during drugs and not to have that molded into your own personality, your own perspective. You should know how to differentiate your personality on drugs from your normal personality. So yeah, my point of view summarizes that I think they can help you, but you should really treat them with respect and know what you're doing. So about like anything in life, if you learn about them, you know what you're doing, then it's going to be good.
Yes, thank you. I am on many drugs right now.
Yeah.
And I have been on many drugs throughout my life, which is great because they teach you a lot of stuff. Yes,
What are the drugs that you are on right now?
I'm on acid and MDMA.
Dosage?
Yes, 250 UGs of LSD and like, fuck knows, MDMA, like, I don't know, 70 milligrams, 70 milligrams,
Oh shit.
more or less.
Okay.
Drugs, they're nice. Like, right now, I'm very fucking confused, but it's also fun, which is cool. Wait, so do you want to speak? I'm the host right now.
You're the host of the most? Yeah.
I'm the host. Will you want? Yes. You get the microphone now.
Oh shit.
I don't do drugs. I do life.
Life, dude.
Even oxygen, like air, could be drugs. Like if you like breathe, like you guys ever like watch like the Wim Hof like Iceman thing? Like it's just a breathing technique, and you just like trip out.
I think we just discovered our next topic, which is oxygen is a psychoactive substance.
Hey,
It is, man.
that is an actual theory. Many of you know about the iceberg of truth, right? I made a video about it. There is different topics in this iceberg that go very, very down, right? And in one of the lowest layers, there is this theory of like oxygen is psychoactive, right? When I first discovered this, I was like, okay, this is just bullshit. You know, there's many bullshit things in that chart anyway, right? But no, if you go and dig deeper into it, you might see that oxygen is psychoactive. Like oxygen is a hallucinogen.
I think that could probably be like a really good theory, because what if oxygen is the psychedelic or the hallucinogenic that makes us experience sober reality, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like it's the thing that makes us see the matrix, man. That we in the matrix.
Yeah, it's
And we just keep, and our body is designed to just always take it in, and we can't until
if you cut your supply of oxygen, dude, like you're out.
The laughing balloons or laughing gas, yeah, with the laughing gas and N2O, I think, nitrogen oxide, is that basically this balloon works on the way that you don't have oxygen in your brain for like 15 seconds while you inhale the balloon and you have only nitrous oxide, and then you're high really, really hard. But then once you stop breathing from that balloon, the oxygen comes back and you just are back to reality in 1 minute. So also the lack of oxygen is actually psychedelic in a way.
Because it does alter consciousness, but what is consciousness? Like, you know, the just base awareness of stuff. Like, you could say, like, if your brain just processes shit, oxygen would be the base stuff to process to get any awareness out of it. So, like, on psychedelics, you've got other shit going on, but with just the oxygen is just the base state of being alive, basically. You know. Is anyone still here?
Yes.
Of course.
I agree.
So yeah.
I don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing, man.
No one knows.
All I know is I don't know. I know nothing, right? But what I think before I was Keegan, and before you were Jerry, and before you were Mihai, and you were Lorenzo, and wait, what was it? Radu, right? And you were Radu. Sorry, man. Before before that, we were all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all, it's like the same consciousness, and then reality and life and circumstance and our avatar, our like human body, just get influenced by the environment and family and everything, and that just shapes who we are as a person. But under that, it's the same, I guess.
Every human is just a god in drag. It's literally like every human is a god impersonating a different character.
Have any of you here ever done DMT?
I've tried once, but I burned it. I didn't really inhale it properly, so I didn't really trip. So, yeah, not really.
It just feels like if you just go into another dimension. I just remember opening my eyes and I was looking around. I was indoors when I was tripping, but when I opened up my eyes after tripping, I was looking around and I was seeing like sand, and I was like in a desert and I was seeing palm leaves, and I look at my arms and I was seeing like jewels, and looking at my neck and I have jewels, and I stood up. I look at my girlfriend, she was looking like Cleopatra, another guy was looking. It's just so weird. It's just like if you like plug a game cartridge into your brain, but it just feels like if life and this reality that we in right now, or this character that we playing, so it just feels like if you just press pause, like you're playing a video game and you press the pause button and it come out and it doesn't have a question of who I am, or like, when I just knew, I was just like so confused why I was so stressed out with all the problems that my character was experiencing in my life. And
When you say your character, you mean Keegan?
yeah, basically. So when you trip in on DMT, you just like lose all of that. You just like don't think of yourself as like, I didn't think of myself as Keegan. I thought of myself as playing Keegan, like acting as Keegan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was the actor, but I wasn't questioning who am I. It was just like I knew that I just was, you know.
The whole duality of the perceiver and the perceived, right? The actor and the viewer of the movie, right? I think it's in everyone, right? Like, have all of you experienced this? That you are both, you know, the character in the movie right now, you know, the character in this video, right? But at the same time, you're you, right? You're like the awareness.
When you think about it, you're always the observer, but it feels like you're always the doer, because you are always feeling like you're taking actions. You always do shit. I mean, of course, you always have the world around you, and you can think about what they think and what they do and what they're gonna do, but all you have at any one moment is the perception of them from your unique point of view. So you look at other people, but you don't actually know the other people. You just know what they're in your brain. Same with everything else, human or not. But even your actions are basically something you just experience the same as everyone else. So whether it's you or it's me or it's my thoughts or it's whatever the fuck I'm saying, it's still something I'm experiencing at the moment from this perspective. So be present here.
Sorry, just a second. Whenever you question yourself, try to solve it from a very sober point of view, from a very objective and logical point of view, and try to accept that you are both your thoughts and your action, and know that there is no difference between them. There is only one. There is your behavior, and that's just how you behave. I do think people need to make peace between their thoughts and their actions, and maybe that would bring a bit more joy in everyone. Solidarity. I think would bring more solidarity, more humbleness, and would make people easier to connect together and not to think of the others as just separate, distinct entities that are different from you.
Yo, that's some really good shit, man. You reminded me of this concept of the human colossus. This one creature, which like all of these atoms are humans, right? So you're an atom of like this global consciousness, but it's basically just the sum of all of our actions. So we'll bring it like one step further and say that, how you said, a person has to be, balanced both in their thoughts and in their actions, right? Like those two things have to not conflict with each other. But I will say that this also applies to your actions as an individual and the actions of the wall, right? The wall global consciousness.
I got caught up a bit with another thing that Jerry said with the Colossus, and I was thinking it really does make sense, because if everyone basically adds something to a gigantic thing where everyone can do, then it's in everyone's positive way to add a lot, because this is why humanity can basically progress. So if everyone adds a part, then humanity is going to progress, and you can only get there by everyone being good with the other people on earth first of all, in order to not make their mission harder in order to add stuff. And also if you learn stuff, or basically you just go to university.
Yeah, I see that you are trying to put this in a very philosophical perspective and try to bring up past philosophical models or beliefs that would help with this. But what I think would help better is that you realize that whenever you make an explanation or a philosophy about what is happening to you or what you are thinking, it is just that. It's just a model that tries to explain it in the best of your understanding and the best of your thoughts. But you should try to combine more of what you hear. Try to realize that there is not one objective truth or objective way to put all the thoughts in a category or think about stuff in a philosophical way that aligns with the dogma, because everything is just whenever you read a philosophy or someone's idea about what you think, that is just their best model of doing that. What I think it is good is analyzing many of these models, analyzing philosophical points of view from philosophers, from religions, from cultural behaviors that arise as a result of human interaction, and taking inspiration from all of this, trying to create your own worldview from whatever the best evidence you have.
So I see that you're talking about frameworks, right? And you say any explanation that you give is just a framework, right? But I'll just point to this concept of perennialism, right? What perennialism says is that it doesn't matter under which framework you're analyzing reality, because you can just consider it as like one perspective. And I'm not saying that any of those frameworks or any of those perspectives is true, right? I'm saying that if you get all of them, if you get the total sum of them, then you can see the full picture. You can see the actual metaphysical truth, which in that case will be describable.
Yeah, you bring up this concept of truth, but just as anything in the physical reality that we live in, there is no actual objective truth, as everything that we experience is just the subjective interpretation of a machine made out of meat that is just processing some signals that it's receiving from outside. So because of that, I think there is no actual objective truth, and it's impossible to reach an objective. Life is not about truth. Nothing we see is true. That we don't perceive the world as it is. Like things like color, things like the distinction of objects. This is just the easy way for a mind to interpret whatever the signals it is receiving. And so when you realize that there's no objective truth and the world doesn't work in discrete measures, in things like true or false, or is there or is not there, it works in a more of a continuous sort of way, in gradients, in percent. So you'll have information in a certain percent about something, because you can never know the full picture of everything. That's why I think it is very important to take multiple teachings from multiple frameworks, because then you can analyze things from different points of view, and you can compare whatever conclusions you have from one part to the other, and would help you to reach a good understanding. And the objective, I think, is not to find an actual truth, a suitable truth or real truth. It is to find something that explains enough about what you want to find an explanation for, and something that is grounded in reality.
Okay, so I would agree with you actually, and I'd say at this point that life then is just coming to terms with reality.
The whole thing about life it defies definition.
Do you not think that you can define the truth not by describing it, because that's impossible, but by pointing at it by multiple failed attempts?
Well, it's a limit then, because you're always approaching it, but you can never really get there, you know?
Even though you will never reach infinity, you can asymptotically get closer to it.
This is what's important, is experience. So how you define what reality is really dependent on what you trying to get from the answer, you know? Like, yes, from a materialistic point of view, you can have the whole of reality just fit as a continuous flow of matter. But from an informational point of view, it's more complicated, because, again, experience. About that, you know, about human progress in general, actually, whenever you talk about human progress in anything, it kind of begs the question, the progress towards what?
There is this thing called the transcendental object at the end of time. Terence McKenna might have told you about it. It's basically this metaphor for the end point of our simulation.
I mean, yeah, that's one way of thinking about it, like, where is reality going as a whole? Which I guess is one thing, but it's not really that interesting. It's important to see which way the progress is intended to go in. Like, what are we trying to progress towards, you know, as a human species? What is there to evolve towards, and why? Why are we evolving in the way we do?
Yes, there is this video called Marble Tree, where there's this higher intelligence alien species thing that makes contact with humans. Like, humans slowly find these clues hidden throughout reality, right? And they're telling them, you're gonna make it up here with us. We can go on like that higher plane. We can go along with the ride. There is so many things that can happen. And if you're talking about the end point, then you probably will have to be pointed to different things, like the last question by Asimov, or the last answer actually, which is even better, and not many people know about it. We are going somewhere. We'll never get there, but we are going somewhere, right? That's the point. The journey is the point, right? To have a never-ending journey, because how else will God entertain himself for eternity?
Well, I mean, of course, that was a very long answer. Wait, did I even ask anything?
Questions and answers are in fact the same thing.
Alright, so now that we're completely off the point.
Was there ever a point to begin with?
Yes, there was a point to begin with. I'm pretty sure there was a point, but like we forgot it somewhere along the way.
The point is that it's pointless.
I need to speak.
Nah, man. I don't know anything, man. That's all I know.
Get the microphone, say I don't know anything.
I don't know.
I'ma put a plate on your face if you keep talking like this.
A Plato. You got a Socrates.
You're Plato because all you keep saying is that all I know is that I don't know. Well, how do you know that?
Because I don't know, man. I would say like I'm a Christian right now, so respect, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus, man. But in the end, nobody know fucking anything, man. Nobody know nothing.
Nobody knows shit, dude.
We ain't know nothing, man. We just here and we just on a rock orbiting around or spiraling around a star that just going through the universe.
The sooner everyone realizes that no one knows fucking shit, right? The sooner the human colossus can wake the fuck up.
Hey, that's true, because if that's kind of like when you realize and when you think that you really know something, and this is my way, and this is the way, and this is a way. That causes a divide between people because yeah, man, we don't know nothing, man.
Dude, I'm gonna just put a framework on right now, right? There is this fucking alien species, right? That you can never fully perceive. You can only, infer it from other things. And what they thrive on, right, is divisions because they can only handle many small targets, right? They can't handle one big, like, fucking target that, is bigger than them, right? And the whole way they operate is by getting in the head of all the conscious creatures on earth and dividing them in a way that they can never reach a critical mass big enough.
It's like an alien species that just go in and just like whispering these thoughts in their ears to make them think about that and make a divide between them. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, man, it's like, how fucking flowers can't move but they still reproduce using bees because bees can fucking move, right? Thoughts can't fucking propagate into the real world. Like ideas, they can't move, they don't have legs in the real world, right? So what the fuck do they use? They don't have bees, guys. No, they have humans. They have us, dude.
Just like there's good thoughts that could propagate through the universe. There's hateful thoughts too, man. What if thoughts are also conscious within themselves? Ooh, what if we're
Dude.
thoughts, man?
Dude.
Ooh.
We are thoughts.
There is a really nice opinion that I heard from John Green from Crash Course, which is about this topic, and it's about dehumanization and how dehumanization is used to think of the others as different, as your enemy, as someone that does you bad. And it's how things like the Holocaust happens, how genocides happen. This is the same way that people like the Uyghur Muslims are treated right now in China. They are dehumanized and made them seem like the enemy, like they're different than the normal people, and they're not like us. There's this idea that when you try to disregard the human person, they say they're not like us, they're different, they can't be human as us, we are better than them. And this is a very dangerous concept, and I want to hear your idea about how this influences the current world, because we see stuff like this happening with the refugees. Like, people don't see refugees as really people, they see them as a political tool or a nuisance or something bad that happens. And how dehumanization, in your opinion, affects the current world and how we can fight it, especially when you just have a normal person, when you don't have big political powers or big organizations behind you. How can you fight this, and how can you let people know that it is really a bad idea to think of other people as different than you?
Well, I got kind of a plot twist for you, right? These alien species, right, that we've been talking about is exactly that. It's the status quo, right? So if we topple the status quo, dude, it's not an alien species, fucking humans, right? Like, the only thing that exists is like real life, right? It's just real life, right? No alien shit, no like metaphysical bullshit. It's just like the status quo, right? If we can just come together, if we can just see that there is no difference between anyone except the physical, the material, because materialism is literally the only thing that can work over ideas.
No, man, that's hate speech, man. Don't propagate them thoughts, man. What?
Dude, okay, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. Come here, alright? So today we explored many concepts. One of them is that we are actually all the same person, right? Another one of them is that the Illuminati is the government, is the aliens, is the status quo.
I came out of this podcast feeling mad lit, and it was pretty good. It was like really nice to hear everybody's perspective on life, and that's cool, man. But at the end of the day, I said it 1,000 times already. I know shit no more, bro. I'm just saying, I'm Keegan. It was nice.
Plato, everyone, give it up for Plato. Right.
Fight the power.
What I came out of this podcast with is empowerment, and now I feel like a real girl again. And I believe the human colossus can change reality, and we can bring art into real life. Like media just like permeates through real life, and the human colossus takes over. Thank you very much.
Do I need to say something else? People, just unity and positivity. Keep this in mind.
I mean, for me, like, I feel like I got at least 10 times as more confused as I was before, which is, I guess, good because she'll always just be questioning more shit. Like, what are we doing on Jay's podcast? You put us all up to this. What the fuck, dude?
Right, my message is to stay curious, as many others probably have told you, to be humbler, be kind to one another, and always seek more knowledge. Always try to be better yourself. Peace out.
5-star podcast.